Did you know that the giant soda manufacturer Pepsi faced a dark period in its history? A surprising fact indeed. Yet the story begins not with a fall but with a rivalry, a clash of titans if you will that defined the soda industry for decades. The Cola Wars. Enter Coca-Cola and Pepsi, the two behemoths, each vying to quench the world's thirst. In one corner we had Coca-Cola, the age-old favorite with a secret recipe and a legacy that stretched back to the late 19th century. On the other side there was Pepsi, the challenger, the underdog, always eager to prove its worth. Pepsi was no stranger to bold moves. In fact, it thrived on them. In the early days of the Cola Wars, Pepsi launched a series of aggressive marketing campaigns. Remember the Pepsi Challenge? That was a direct jab at Coca-Cola, a daring move that paid off and gained Pepsi some serious ground in the soda industry. Pepsi's marketing strategies were as fizzy and refreshing as their cola. They were innovative, daring, and most importantly, they resonated with the consumers. Pepsi knew how to make a splash and they did so quite literally with a pop and a fizz. They were the New Age David taking on the Goliath of the soda world, and for a while it seemed like they were winning. But here's the thing about success. It can be intoxicating, and Pepsi, high on its initial victories, might have overlooked a crucial aspect of warfare, cola or otherwise, sustainability. Their aggressive marketing campaigns, while successful, were also incredibly expensive. And little did they know, this was just the start of their financial woes. But as we'll soon see, this initial success came at a cost. A cost that would eventually lead this soda giant down a path of financial struggle and ultimately, bankruptcy. But that's a story for the next scene. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the untold story behind Pepsi's bankruptcy. Pepsi's marketing campaigns were a success, but they came with a hefty price tag. In the heat of competition, Pepsi went all out, creating advertising stunts that were grander, more daring, and significantly more expensive than any they had ever done before. The Super Bowl commercials, celebrity endorsements, and international ad campaigns were all designed to make a statement. And they did, with Pepsi becoming a household name across the globe. Their marketing efforts were undeniably effective, but they were also incredibly costly. The financial weight of these campaigns started to bear down on Pepsi. Every dollar spent on marketing was a dollar taken from their bottom line, and the expenses quickly started to add up. The strain on their resources was palpable. But Pepsi, caught up in the thrill of the Cola Wars, continued to pour money into their marketing efforts, hoping that the increased sales would outweigh the costs. However, the reality was a tad more complex. While these campaigns did boost sales, the return on investment wasn't as high as anticipated. The sales growth wasn't enough to offset the enormous marketing expenses. The financial strain of these campaigns wasn't just a short-term problem, it had long-term implications for Pepsi's financial health. The steep costs of their marketing campaigns started to eat into their profits, leaving them with less money to invest in other areas of the business. It also led to a higher debt load, which further strained their finances. Over time, this financial pressure began to hinder Pepsi's ability to compete effectively. The company, once flush with cash, found itself struggling to keep up with the pace of the Cola Wars. While they were winning battles on the marketing front, they were losing the war on the financial front. The cost of competition was becoming too high, leaving Pepsi in a precarious position. Pepsi was winning the Cola Wars, but at what cost? The financial strain of their marketing campaigns was a significant factor in Pepsi's eventual bankruptcy. It's a stark reminder that while aggressive marketing can boost sales, it can also lead to financial instability if not managed carefully. As consumer preferences began to shift, Pepsi found itself unable to keep up. The soda industry was undergoing a sea change. Health-conscious consumers were starting to turn away from sugary sodas, opting instead for healthier alternatives. The demand for diet drinks, teas, and flavored waters was on the rise. This was a significant shift in the market, and it demanded an equally significant response from the industry giants. But Pepsi, entrenched in its ways, was slow to adapt. The company continued to heavily invest in its traditional soda products, underestimating the power of this new trend. While other companies were quick to introduce a variety of healthier options, Pepsi lagged behind. Their product line simply didn't reflect the changing tastes of the consumers. And it wasn't just about the products. Innovation, or rather the lack of it, was also a major issue. Pepsi's competitors were constantly evolving, experimenting with new flavors, and improving their formulas. They understood that in this fast-paced market, standing still was not an option. But Pepsi seemed to be stuck in a time warp, clinging to its old ways and failing to innovate. This lack of adaptation had a profound impact on Pepsi's market share. Slowly but surely, the company was losing ground. Its once loyal customers were being lured away by brands that offered a wider variety of healthier options. Pepsi's sales started to decline and the company found itself in a precarious situation. But the trouble didn't stop there. The company's inability to adapt was a symptom of a larger problem. Behind the scenes, poor management decisions were hampering Pepsi's ability to compete effectively. The company was failing to recognize the changing market trends, and as a result, its strategies were becoming increasingly out of sync with consumer demands. Pepsi was losing ground and things were about to get worse. As the company continued to struggle with the changing market dynamics, it was heading towards a crisis. A crisis that would push the soda giant to the brink of bankruptcy. But that's a story for the next scene. In a desperate bid to diversify, Pepsi made a costly mistake. As the soda industry was becoming increasingly competitive, Pepsi decided to venture into a territory unfamiliar to them: the restaurant industry. The company believed that owning fast food chains would be an excellent way to boost its soda sales, and so the decision was made. However, the restaurant business is a different beast altogether. It requires a unique set of skills and expertise, something that Pepsi, a soda company, was sorely lacking. The result? A series of failed investments that left the company financially crippled. Pepsi acquired well-known chains such as KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell. While these names may sound enticing, managing them was a different story. The restaurant industry is a highly competitive, low-margin business, and Pepsi soon found itself in over its head. The company quickly realized that running restaurants was not as simple as producing soda. There were employee wages to consider, real estate costs, fluctuating food prices, and a whole host of other challenges that Pepsi was ill-equipped to handle. The company was bleeding money, and fast. Despite the mounting losses, Pepsi held on to its restaurant division for far too long, stubbornly refusing to admit its mistake. This ill-fated venture into the restaurant industry not only drained Pepsi's finances, but also damaged its reputation. The company that had once been a formidable player in the soda industry was now a laughingstock. The financial losses were devastating. Pepsi was burdened with debt and faced immense financial pressure. The company that had been known for its fizzy drinks was now associated with failed restaurants and financial mismanagement. But the worst part? The venture did nothing to boost soda sales. If anything, it distracted the company from its core business and allowed its competitors to gain ground. Pepsi's risky venture had backfired, and the company was on the brink of collapse. This costly mistake served as a harsh reminder that diversification is a double-edged sword. It can either propel a company to new heights or lead it to its downfall. Pepsi's bankruptcy was a humbling experience for a brand that once dominated the soda industry. This was a time of reckoning, but also a time of new beginnings for Pepsi. As the dust settled, the company was left to pick up the pieces and rebuild itself from the ground up. The aftermath of the bankruptcy was a difficult period. Pepsi grappled with immense financial losses, a mountain of debt, and a tarnished reputation. Yet, it was during this trying time that Pepsi began to learn valuable lessons that would shape its future. One of the most significant realizations was the importance of adapting to market trends. Pepsi acknowledged its past mistakes and recognized that it had failed to meet the evolving demands of consumers. This realization prompted a shift in strategy, with a new focus on innovation and diversification. Pepsi understood that to regain its footing in the market, it needed to broaden its product line while maintaining its core brand identity. The company started investing in healthier beverage options, responding to the growing consumer demand for alternatives to traditional soda. This was a significant step in the right direction, allowing Pepsi to reconnect with its consumers and regain their trust. In addition to diversifying its products, Pepsi also concentrated on improving its internal operations. The company took a hard look at its past management decisions and worked on fostering a culture of innovation and effective decision-making. This time of introspection and transformation was not easy, but it was necessary. Pepsi had to confront its failures to make way for success. The company's willingness to learn from its mistakes and adapt to a changing market environment was a testament to its resilience. Today, Pepsi is a company reborn. It has emerged from the ashes stronger and more focused, driven by innovation and a renewed commitment to its consumers. The journey hasn't been easy, but the lessons learned have been invaluable. Pepsi's story serves as a reminder that even giants can fall, but they can also rise again. And as Pepsi continues to rise, it serves as a testament to the power of resilience, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of success.